So you said you're down to 3 choices. Does that mean it's been a whole week and you guys have not finished your 10th level characters after all that hype?
I just hadn't picked out the spell. I got one more 5th level spell.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to discuss those spells, your players could ring in, and at last the GM might say, okay, well, knowing what I do know about the adventure, having only 1 night's of material pre-read, I can tell you what your immediate future might hold and lean you towards something, maybe.
Indeed, sir. Yeah, so I have 1 more 5th level spell. And I have narrowed it down to a few choices. One of them, it's kind of nasty, but it's cool at the same time. It's called Grisly Growths.
Go on.
Here's the description. This gruesome spell causes the target to grow excess limbs and organs, whether it be fingers multiplying until hands resemble bushes, eyes popping open in bizarre places, legs sprouting from the side of the body, or some other result. The target takes 10d6 piercing damage as the new features erupt. The spell has no effect on a target with mutable anatomy or no limbs, such as an ooze or a protean. The growths rot rapidly and fall away after 1 round. In addition, unless the initial target critically succeeds, creatures within 30 feet of the target, including the target, must attempt will saves, after which they're temporarily immune to the secondary effect of Grisly Growths for 1 hour. This additional effect is a mental and visual effect. So the people within 30 feet of the target, if they succeed, they're unaffected. If they fail, they're sickened 1, and if they critically fail, they're sickened 2. So you blow the dude up. It does 10d6 piercing damage. Any creature within 30 feet of the target has to make a will save or they're sickened.
Okay.
Just like
regret. Wrong podcast. Wrong podcast.
No. Okay.
It's a bit nasty. So that the effects of that spell are just cool, and it's a single target that has like an AoE aspect to it as a debuff. Kind of thought that was cool. But staying kind of on the motif of my character, there's Freezing Rain and Wall of Ice. Freezing Rain's kind of cool because it's movable. It's a lot like that Water Orb spell. So I make a 20-foot. It makes a 20-foot burst, and if I can sustain it for up to 10 minutes, and it's just like a little rainstorm that I can move around, and each round I can move. If I sustain it, I can move the rainstorm 20 feet and can freeze the rain. Any creatures that are inside the rain, when I freeze it, take 46 cold damage, and there's a chance that they will be slowed depending on the result of their reflex save.
Okay. And what's choice number 3?
And choice number 3 is Wall of Ice, which
it's a classic.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Wall of Ice is usually one of the first 4th level D&D spells that a character gets. There's Wall of Fire, Wall of Stone, Wall of Iron, and Wall of Ice you can do so much with, because you can make a plane of ice flat. You can just, it's a quick barrier that, isn't indestructible, but buys you a lot of time. That kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay. So
it's got some utility.
Okay. Starting with your closest gaming buddy, let's hear from Ryan Messina. Ryan, what spell do you think Al, your cousin, should take of those 3? The player, not the character. I'm not asking Miros, I'm asking Ryan.
To be honest, you've been focused a lot on fire, and you could wrap in ice in there. I heard there's some literary cohesiveness of fire and ice. Don't know. Heard there's some media that's out there that really kind of capitalized on that a bunch.
It's true. I like ice. I like ice because most of the things we have fought so far have resistance to fire.
He's avoiding my question by hinting at the band. Non-committal answer.
It was an answer.
Oh, okay. Drew. Let's hear from the Americans.
Oh, the Americans go gross. We'd want the exploding limbs.
What?
No. That's what Andrew wants.
just the one American. That's right.
Just the one American.
The one American. We're short a few tonight.
Gnarly.
All right, Mr. Witt.
Yes.
You have other spells that do damage, unless you do not have anything comparison to a single target, a single chance.
There was also another one I found called Geyser, which is really cool as well.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
10-foot radius, 50-foot tall cylinder, a powerful geyser blasts up from the ground, potentially pushing creatures up on top of it into the air. The bottom of the spell must be on solid ground. Creature in the area takes 3d6 bludgeoning damage, 4d6 fire damage with a reflex save. A creature pushed into the air by the geyser can't be pushed beyond the top of the geyser. After being pushed into the air, a creature falls unless it's flying or has some other means of staying aloft, taking falling damage normally equal to half the distance it fell. After the geyser erupts, the area is filled with a cloud of steam for a round. All creatures in the steam are concealed, and all creatures outside of the steam are concealed to creatures within it. Critical success, creatures unaffected. Success, creature takes half damage and isn't pushed into the air. Failure, creature takes full damage and is pushed 20 feet into the air. Critical failure, creature takes double damage and is pushed 40 feet into the air.
Okay.
Kind of a cool spell.
With this new data, Ryan, you care to change your vote?
Nope.
Nope, you're still saying ice spell, the best?
Ice or geyser. I'll narrow it down to 50-50.
Okay, and Drew?
I do like Geyser. I'd go 50-50 that.
That or Grizzly Growths.
Don't you have a druid spell that's very similar in our other game?
Well, he does the cantrip, the little spout spell. But I did actually steal the character for my one at home. So Charwin's played at home at like a level 9 or 10 right now, and he has Geyser.
Speaks from experience. Okay. I would agree with Ryan and Drew. A spell that does damage and alters the battlefield. You talked about concealment. You talked about making an ice barrier. Way more versatile in more situations than just the gross out factor where one guy could make a save and nothing happens. One guy fails a save. It looks cool. A couple of people are sickened, but that doesn't change a battle.
I'm going to throw this one out here, okay? You want to get limited points? We're trying to make Jeff vomit. I've been playing the Halloween game for how many years we've been doing now, and I have done everything I can to get him yak. Like, I don't need to have described wet bread being slapped onto the ground.
when your tumor familiar
number 2.
But hey, we've had some fans ask about when our first edition Evil game is going to return. It's going to return sooner than you think. We'll be spotting it in the odd first edition Friday here and there coming soon.
So I found another spell that might be a good one just to add a different damage type to my repertoire.
I got to say this is the original cold open. So yes, do tell.
Lightning Storm.
Is that the call down one lightning per round?
Yep. 20-foot burst right off the bat. And then I can call another lightning bolt into the area if I sustain it.
What's 46? What do you think? What are we talking here for every bolt?
4d12. Basic reflex.
That's pretty cool. But concentration?
To sustain, yes.
So you get a little thunk and that's gone.
Well, not necessarily, but yeah.
Okay. In chat, we have a couple of our patrons. Explosion is chiming in. He likes Geyser for several reasons.
I do like Geyser as well.
Yeah. Well, it says detrimental to the party due to concealment. That sounds like a bad thing. Also, the fall damage only taking from half the distance means it's really going to deal. Oh no, he sounds like he's dissing Geyser. Sorry, he likes freezing rain. My apologies. I'm not scrolling back.
I like the freezing rain as well. For the sustaining aspect of it.
Okay.
But I will say Lightning Storm is a different kind of damage type. I already have ice.
I'm gonna run some logos, and you'll have
and it operates on the same basic premise.
Okay. I'm gonna run logos. You have a minute happen to decide. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We've snuck in a little bit of revised rules. The Age of Ashes campaign. We are in book 3 of 6. The characters have just hit 10th level, and of a party of a possible 6, with some teleportation portal error narrowing us down to 4 to 5 in any given battle. Tonight, we have three people that are going to enjoy a feast in their honor after they put some fires, some political intrigue as they talk to the chief, and some interesting NPCs that have recently been, shall we say, suddenly saved from the smokehouse of doom, and other things in store, including a leveling episode that we have tonight. As you were listening in our cold open, we were asking fans, friends, and players the best spell. And maybe because he didn't like what he heard, he just kept adding a new spell. Oh, and then there's this other new spell, new spell. That, just out of curiosity, have you come to a final decision?
Yes, I've decided I'm going to take Lightning Storm because it gives me a different damage type, and it operates on the same basic premise as the Freezing Rain one does. And it's a little more damage potential. So instead of 4 to 24, it's 4 to 48 possible damage.
Okay. Your choice is your own. If a combat situation comes up and Ryan, Drew, and I remind you how it would have been cool to have exploding legs, or would have been cool to have a plane of ice handy, or some Freezing Rain would have been really handy at this point, don't take it personally. It's because we love you and we care about the spells that you cast to protect and aid the party. So, guys, let me pull up a map, because, it just, maps are cool. Maps. A map of the area, a map of the coastline that we are currently mucking about on. You guys have been teleported to a northern part of Cheliax that recently, in a few adventure paths ago, had broken off from its fatherland of Hell Knights and Osmodian legal worship under the mighty House of Thrune and a mighty ruler, whose name escapes me. Her name is like Abigail Thuliax Thrune the Fourth. It's gone right out of my head.
Third. Abigail,
yeah.
third.
Thank you.
In this new list.
Play the list. In this generic area of Ruvenel, Ravounel, Ruvenel, which lies north of a mountain range. So Cheliax now has shrunk down from the coastline to this mountain range, and north is the wonderful little mini, whatever you want to call it, nation or budding annexed province of Ruvenel. And one of the largest cities is Kintargo. Kintargo was featured in Hell's Rebels, not Hell's Vengeance that we're currently running, but Hell's Rebels, the sister adventure to it. And at that point, at that crux of Kintargo, a big gully and going into a river, if you head northeast up that coastline north, you come to a little place called Cypress Point, where our players are now. Guys were putting out fires, kicking butt, taking names, and now things have calmed down. You had all agreed that you were going to throw whatever last spell, cantrip, or whatever you could do for the fire damage. And as the evening waxes, the day is won. Things are desolate, but to boost morale, brilliant move by our, shall we say, chieftain, or our leader, Zereliah. Starts with an X, Xerelilah. Zereliah would like to throw a feast in your honor, gentlemen. So no time for resting and regathering spells. Doesn't want to put a sour mood with so many unpleasant tasks of, pulling out wounded, dead, and such. We We've done some triage. You guys, like I said, you guys have put out the fires. The town has rallied, and now they really need a bit of a morale boost. She literally has you guys declared as town heroes, and insists on providing you guys with a celebratory feast. How do you plead? I mean, what do you do? Well, that.
It's munching time.
Yeah.
Party.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. There's nothing urgent going on. Yeah.
No.
We have an alcohol vendor.
That house is on fire. That one's okay.
Roof is on fire. We're just going to let it burn.
Well, Mirrors is probably full already because he ate all that fire.
Taking a head count, your cousin, both your clerics, and now your champion all seem AWOL. Whether this strange phenomenon of portal has poofed them, or they just haven't returned from the outskirts of town where they're still helping. I'm not sure. No one has come to you going, what happened to your friend? He disappeared right in front of me, so maybe that is a good sign. But when the party starts going...
Yeah.
What?
Party. Hey, what's going on? Albert, do you know what's been going on lately?
Not really,
Okay.
but it's probably a good idea to consult with a priestess of Desna. Because I have a thought that it's likely something to do with that portal.
Wait, if this is not a concern for you, it's not a concern for me, cousin. I just trust the wiggly stuff to you. You know
Right.
how I roll with these problems.
When I got a wee bit more time, I'll see what I can come up with.
Hey, you rub those squiggly bits of yours there together there, and let me know if you come up with a little thinking can. And if you want, you need some old Morose muscle, you let me know. I'll be here to help you. But if that's all you need of me, there's a keg over there that's full.
Aye, behave yourself, lad. Don't be getting into any
Ah.
fights.
Oh, I won't be getting in any fights, but I'm not talking about the gorilla later.
We feast. You drink, of course. You eat what food they can conjure. And the board of fare for a town, they always have something squirreled away. And funny enough, things that are squirreled away and not in a common kitchen are usually pantry protected. And luckily enough, I wouldn't say they haven't lost quite a bit of supplies. Their excuse is this will spoil anyway. The whole town being saved from being pressed into slavery is good enough for this vintage wine, this vintage ale, these locks of land. Whatever they were saving up, they bring out now. And they insist that you guys try, the grandmother's mint and lamb recipe that they're, they offer you frog's legs. And then they get quiet and look at Miros, and I'm not sure if that's cool or not.
I insist that I try this as well.
We have children that now that
Okay,
now
if I
that
gotta
the
try the
giant
children
frog,
too, that's okay.
no, just wait.
Different cultures. I'm not here to judge.
Spit out that kid. Now that the giant frog has turned into a brightly colored gnome, you're approached by younglings, Miros, and they want to know how you change. No, possible potential students. They want to know how you changed into those fantastic animals. They want to know, could you do it again? What else can you turn into? Can you turn into a unicorn?
I do it. What the fuck is a unicorn? I don't fully understand it there, children. There, it's a bit of interesting.
Oh my god! You are press ganged by a bunch of 7 to 12-year-old girls that go on about My Little and Pony, not necessarily in that order, and talk about beautiful white horses with horns on their heads.
I don't want to ruin their belief in the magic. That's the magical thing that I enjoy about it. But I do insist to them that I don't fully understand how it works. It's like Christmas magic.
Okay.
Druid magic runs on the same parallels.
Okay.
I think it
think-
real hard and it happens.
Okay, but do you regale them with tales of like this one time I turned into this? Because like they want stories and they want to know what else you can turn into, and they want to see.
Oh yeah, and actually, this only accents the fact that I've recently added to my rapport of things I can turn into. I added 1,000 faces, which opens up all humanoid species, and because
See, I think the children were hoping for more of, you know, Muros, the mobile petting zoo, as opposed to you doing your impression of Auntie Floyd. But
what? So they don't? Are you telling me they don't want to see a fire giant?
okay, now you're getting press ganged by a bunch of dudes. 12-year-old guys like, oh,
Yeah. So yeah, no, 100%. It's like the Moros playground at this point. There.
okay. So he turns into a fire giant, and everyone screams because they just lost their town to terrible fires. As this giant burning man.
Well,
Lexus
I thought giant octopus. Yeah, so that would be my go-to.
Oh,
Or
okay.
squid.
That actually would be funny if you slowly rotate with your tentacles going up and down and just turn one of those carnival rides. That would be very cool. Albric, Stonechucker. Again, drink, stories, you know, where did you train? Curiously, a lot of people are calling you apprentice.
Apprentice.
So, apprentice, you know, where did you learn your magic? Hey, well, you know, you won every battle with cantrips. We didn't see any big magic, so.
That's true.
It's interesting that the peasants know that.
So apprentice, you know. like-
Yeah. No, you know what? Touche.
Well, hey, I'm assuming you guys regale the battle, right? And what did he cast? This. Okay, and then what happened? Then he turned into a frog. Cool, giant animals, right? And you know, and then this halfling, right? Hunters, rangers, gatherers, right? Start pressing on our little halfling about the shot, wanting to compare their martial skill with his. They set up a target. You know, they don't believe that you won because one we killed and one ran away, right? And you had help killing the other one. So whether it was it the gash to the neck? Was it the frost hands? Was it the arrow out of the eye? Like, you know, you're getting credited for these kills, but they're fine. Maybe it's a prejudice thing. Maybe just don't believe a halfling that got a shot. You know, if you said you picked up a stone and whipped it, then that's a whole other halfling story. But these lovely humans, and a mix of other races, but not a lot, mostly humans. You know, they don't disbelieve you, but they want to see. You know, they want to see. They, you know, they might even drag the. You guys still have a Drake corpse here, right? You dropped one of them, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of them was dropped by the building.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might want to get on that before the town strips it. But let's say they drag it over or prop it up, and then they send you back 60 paces, going, "Can you hit the other eye?" You know, just lop the head over a fence and going, "Let's see if you can hit the other eye." You know,
Desecrating a body. That's cool.
do you just mumbling to himself? Humans.
No, I would request to leave the specimen as intact as possible, being a dragon scholar.
Okay. Boo.
Yeah, sorry, no fun for you. I can create an illusory creature,
Oh. Yeah, you go, apprentice.
but I just need 4 hours of sleep first.
Yeah. Cantrip, hit the cantrip, halfling. You know, go. Anyway, would you humor them and select a different target, or are you just like, are you all business when it comes to actual fighting? You're not here for showing off.
Maybe after a couple of drinks, we could do something the same size. You know, an apple or something.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. Shoot an apple off the apprentice's head. That'd be great. That's what we want to see.
Why?
So, you know,
He's sleeping.
Your hat is being well. Right now, you guys are all partying, right? So, like, Al's got his group of people he's talking to over there. Ryan's with the kids,
Yep.
and then people are talking.
And
to you. Everyone's within stone's throw or shouting distance.
I'll
away from
ask
each other.
about lodgings for the night,
Yes, actually,
and then
there
I'll stay until it's a little bit beyond the I've stayed for the polite amount of time. No, I'll stay
Okay.
and then retire early
All
to
right.
get as much sleep as possible because I am exhausted.
No, that's fine. Zeraliah, has families come forward and can put you guys up. Maybe not all together, but like you guys are definitely be given beds and whatever. And strangely, even before we get to that polite amount of time, Al, I'm going to choose you, since you were the one saying you're going to bugger off. You were kind of looking for the excuse to go. Is it time yet? Is it time yet?
Yep.
You see the leader just sort of slink away, especially at a point where you guys are being like hailed in Hazard.
See how sneaky I can be without being drained. I will follow.
Okay.
As sneakily as possible.
As sneakily as possible.
Do I notice him not being sneakily?
Can I have perceptions in the towers?
Yes.
That'll be good. Oh, actually, no. Technically, it's not a roll off. It's your roll versus character DC, right? So what's your actual character DC, Ryan?
Because
they don't do opposing rolls in the system. It's
so just 10 plus my
10 plus your perception, yeah.
that's okay, 27.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that unless I hit a nat 20.
I don't think it's that high. I think there's some untrained blob. I think it's something to do with your training bonus, but without the buff. Or how like you do how you do a shared skill. You don't get all the bonuses. You get a 10, but there's like a crotch to bonuses.
DM rule.
Drew, help me out. This is embarrassing. This is DM 101, page 101. Like character DC. It's like the first thing they mention. We never use it. We're going to use this system, and like we never do. Well, see, for me, when you guys do rolls versus the NPCs, they're listed. I have a DC of. I don't have to like look at the character, do the math, figure out whatever is, and monsters aren't set up like character sheet. So apologies, don't do this. So Drew, how do we do a character DC? It's
10 plus your modifier.
It is full bonuses, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I will say that is not for Al's lack of sneakiness. He hugs the edge of a map like any other sneaky dwarf would. It's the fact that Muro spots you and calls out to you very loudly, saying,
Hey there, Albrecht. Oh, sorry. I'm in squid form.
it flings a kid at you.
Squib form.
Take this, kid. Hiya!
Or the one tentacle reaches out and taps you on the shoulder, and you turn around, and there's this giant calamari. Ah!
No. Six limbs are playing with kids. 2 of them are doing like the whole like.
Yeah. Ryan's making shrugging squid motion.
Don't mind me,
those
Muros.
podcasts.
I'm just going to drain me own sea creature, if you know what I'm saying.
I point at myself, like, and then point in the direction you were going.
I don't know how many times I got to tell you, lad. You did not need to hold it for me.
I make a strangling motion to 2 tentacles. And
I need more drinks before you get to do that for me, cousin.
An aggressive, angry angle, like the angled in.
I'll be fine, Muros. I'll be fine. We took care of all the ne'er-do-wells in this town earlier.
I make a motion like to decapitate a kid, but the kid thinks I'm playing with him. But like, Albert knows exactly what I'm doing, and the furrowed brows exist. Like,
You keep the kiddies entertained. You know you love it, lad.
one curled up tentacle shakes the fist at him while I continue to play with the skittlings.
And I'll mosey on.
Now he's inebriated, right? So what you guys see in your mind is kids frolicking and yelling and screaming in glee, but what you really just see is a whole bunch of kids getting like haphazardly hurt and thrown around.
So it's like a German playground.
Yeah, well, the parents are also inebriated, so who's watching? Who cares, right? We trust you to save our town. Why a little
I
babysitting?
said what I said.
Yeah. Okay, fun fact. In North America, they've got that hard foam, sand, that kind of impact stuff under kids' playgrounds. In Europe, no country in specific, Ryan, you do go to Europe quite a bit. What are the playgrounds like? Cement?
They're like a farm. Utilitarian.
Oh, okay. So, like, the tractor stopped here, you can play on it. We'll just put a fence around it.
A fence. What the fence for?
Okay.
Yeah,
Kids just
no.
play on stuff that's abandoned.
Climbing with one. The trick is you don't fall.
All right.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Miros, you slip away and follow her. And you see that
Albert,
she's
I blame the
slipping
kidlets. Moros is still squiddy.
Okay.
Albert follows.
Albert. Did I not say Albert?
No, you didn't.
Well, whether through
Just for the listening audience,
I don't know.
Today
I
I
know
can't-
a big inkjet, across the crowd. You could slip away. That sounds pretty sneaky to me.
it is, but we're not in water, so it'd really just be one kid coming out like ink covered.
Just, everyone looks at
The
the
kid would love it.
He runs away.
I'm the chosen one.
Hey, I gotta ask Ryan. Have you been looking ahead in the future levels of Druid? You're like one of the players that I know that likes to
Yeah.
plan out.
Well, yeah.
Can Druids do hybrid creatures? Like, is there a Zoidberg in our future?
I wish. I wish. Piezo, if you're not listening right now, you guys need to get off your shitter and fix this problem right now. Because I know the homebrew community has fixed this, but I'm like, officially, as rules written, nah. I'm like, so yeah, let me mix the match.
You find me some homebrew stuff, dude, and I will consider it.
I have my mission.
Oh, I'm just saying, it's not something like a feat I would give you. This would be like, so I tried to turn into this thing. I burned a patron point, and for a short time only in this episode, we
I'm
bent
a
a rule.
squid lion. Get fucked.
Your mane are all tentacles and things.
Oh, you said it, not me.
Hey, I just
That would be
watched
cool.
Castlevania Nocturne, and
Oh,
one of
right.
the female antagonists had like Medusa hair with spikes on it, and she kept flipping it, and it's like, you look like a lion that kicks out. Anyway,
Yeah.
and there were a couple of quadruped creatures in this show that like kicked ass. It looked unusual. Anyway, so that's where my mind went. Al,
I'm with you.
slipping away, finding Zerleia actually makes her way to where the infirm and wounded have been placed a couple blocks away so that they can heal up. And as a cleric of Desna, she makes her way in there and starts tending them. You peek in a window for a nefarious meeting, and you see her checking on some midwives and stuff there are people that are burnt, there are people that have been crushed, and she starts, immediately praying and blessing and working her way
Well, I've got
up and down the
medical
line.
training,
Okay.
so I'll go in and aid her
Okay. Yeah.
and use that opportunity to
Okay.
ask her if she knows about the cave where we came from,
All right.
being a cleric of Desna. So here's
She knows there are caves that dot the sea line, the shoreline, but you remember there was a bit of an elevation.
yes.
Right. So it's not something like, oh, I remember those when I was a kid and we went cave climbing and you know what I mean?
No, but it
Uh,
is like a portal to like a Desna sleeping. I don't even know what to call it.
Oh, I see. So you're like, hey, have I got news for you? And could you please come fix our portal because we screwed it? I mean,
Exactly, because I think
see.
it's
All right.
going to take a little bit of divine intervention,
Okay.
which is
you
outside
pique
of my
her-
wheelhouse.
You pique her interest. She asks, well, tell you what, multiple hands, short work, right? So you help her with this, and that'll buy some time for it, right?
Yep.
Okay. The triage, unfortunately, Al, you wanted to leave and get as much sleep as possible, takes you well into the evening before you even begin to start that conversation with her.
Yep.
But, when you get around to that conversation, first, she did not know about it. Second, that might be above her Desna pay grade to mess with an actual structure of Desna, but she's definitely interested in hearing everything about it. Can you sketch it? You know what I mean? Like, this is something that if she got a chance to send a messenger to a church in Cantargo or, this kind of thing, she might even give you a name in Cantargo, a cleric of Desna church or something to,
Yep.
To look up. There is also a certain halfling that knows everybody. She runs an inn. She knows everyone. And whether she points you towards a cleric of Desna or not, you would do well to get in her good graces, make her a contact, and that type of thing. She's definitely the type of person I would like to know, for her to know you.
Oh, okay.
Because you guys are heroes, right? So that kind of thing.
Cool. I like it.
Let me think on this, And she crashes and you finally get to bed, right?
Yep.
Rewinding a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to, knowing this character, I think, well, also because Miros is kind of busy with the kids and not exactly in a humanoid form, I would say that is our halfling. An image on your board. A man who is lanky, sallow-looking human with slightly elongated ears and unusually dark green eyes. Also has a dark emerald green lip-piercing ring centered on the middle of his bottom lip. Wears pretty much plain but well-tailored black robes. And I don't mean like Emperor Palpatine kind of thing. I mean like stylish, traveling, charcoal grays mixed with blacks and, like just somebody that emulates dark colors.
Emo with style.
Yeah. He seeks you out. Al disappears. Miros is busy with kids. So that leaves the spotlight on Andrew MalBurg. Why not? Comes up to you, and he introduces himself as Haleka Shadeborn. Pleasure to meet you.
Good to meet you, my good sir.
Wondering. Forgive my formality. I am just a humble merchant passing through Cypress Point from Nadal. I am on my way to Cantargo. I understand that you have interest there, perhaps business.
Yes, we would want to go to Cantargo, I think, is our next stop. You say you have business there.
I do. And if my weekend here at Cypress Point, not that it once was a lovely town, says sweeping the burnt right, it's like, has shown me that travel outside of the borders that I am used to is a little more dangerous than I am used to. Would you consider escorting me to Cantargo?
I would have to confer with my other party members, but it does seem like a interesting proposition. What are your conditions?
I asked for your camaraderie, your protection. He says, I am well trained in medicine and healing magics, so I would be a boon to the party on your travels. If that is agreeable to you.
That does seem like a win-win. I will put in a good word with my teammates, but I do not think this will be an issue.
Okay. Can I have a perception check, sir?
Sure. In the tower?
Yes. Everybody has a secret. Everybody's holding something back. There's obviously something he's not telling you. But you don't expect somebody to spill their guts on their first meeting. I mean, you didn't. He strikes you as someone who's a little off-putting, has an unusual habit of softly running a finger down his jawline while he speaks, as though coaxing the words free, which you could see in your travels might many people find that a little off-putting. But continuing his conversation with you, he says, I assure you that I have no bulky wares. I have no wagon, nothing to slow you down. He says, my commerce comes as I am a formal representative of the Umbral Court in Nadal. I am on my way in Targo to speak with that city's ruling Silver Council when I found myself captured here by these slavers in Cypress Point. Please, he says, confer with your components and enjoy your celebration. He says, I literally owe you and your comrades my life. I would like to discuss more, perhaps away from here on the road, how I might recompense you for that in the future, particularly if our paths align in Kintargo, where I plan to stay for the next while.
All right, thank you. So I'll be in touch.
Okay.
I will find you at the inn.
He bows to you very formally, like a noble or someone that is used to going to a court, and off he goes. Social science, perhaps? Or you want to like wait till tomorrow, talk to everybody, and then, everyone can dump rolls in the tower.
I can do some society. Is that what we said?
The reason I'm asking is if somebody says they represent something of a court from a neighboring nation of Nadal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Given your vocation as someone that particularly, there's sort of a secret code for your dedicated agency. You've talked about things like, these people are my crop, and I can till this and I can do that. But have we come out with, at least for the audience, if not for your fellow player characters, what you actually do?
I think the players know, but not the audience.
Your side dedication archetype is very, very serious. And it has to do with, shall we say, transportation. So I do not see why you wouldn't know a little bit with your decent roll about Cheliax and Nadal and places wherein. I won't give you the formal long-winded version in history and blah, blah, blah. I'll just give you the Coles notes. It's not like you rolled 30 or something. But a very, very old cart formed at the dawn of the Age of Darkness is the name for a Cuthite aristocracy that rules the nation of Nadal with an iron fist. So a council of nobles that have ruled over a nation in tyranny for a very, very long time. And this guy says he represents them. Now they have the reasons. When you have a country next to House Thrune that runs Cheliax, obviously, let's say that the tough sword arm, the tough ruler that gets things done might rise to power. You don't have some soft-hearted, fluffy tree-hugging nation. Cheliax would just roll right under them, right? Right next to Cheliax, you have Vandaran, but also to the northwest, you have Nadal. Anyway, in a nutshell, these members, and there's about 5 or 6 of them, they all address different things. Like there's a guy that's a druid and he runs a druidic cabal. There's someone who's like an ambassador to Cheliax and keeps an eye on them. There's some that are very aloof and they whisper about them and everyone knows that there's like the empty seat, but someone is just too busy to fill it in said court. You know what I mean? The High Mistress fell length of the Shadowmoor is the governor of Pangolaris, one of the major cities there. And then there's famous people like adventurers like Villarain, who's a hunter of profane artifacts and outlawed worshippers, and sort of keeps the country clean from within by going outside and tracking down threats. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very cool but unusual, government. There's some hands-on, very powerful people. Anyway, the Shadowcasters of Ridwan often bring creatures through the Shadow Flame Rift into the center of the city from the Netherworld. So summon creatures, and like that sort of, I wouldn't say deal with the devil that the Asmodeans have, but that sort of dealing with outsiders, I guess is the textbook monster core term, right? Is something that's not uncommon with powerful people. Now, I'm not saying everyone's got like their own pet whatever from hell, no. But I am saying like opening up a portal or summoning a small contingent of something and someone deciding to use them as like the grounds guards in their house every weekend is not something that's so far the reach of what these people do to like show off, like Christmas lights. Oh, my Christmas lights are better. Oh yeah, well I summoned this more powerful creature in my yard. Ha ha ha, that kind of thing goes on. Unfortunately, it is a lawful evil contingency, the Umbral Court. Their symbol is a blood red shield with a white skull that has no lower jaw, just the upper teeth, and coming out the eyes are 2 chains that end in manticle cuffs.
Edgelords.
I was going to say, I don't suppose these guys profit off slavery.
I think I've said too much with the decent but not overly powerling role that you have had so
Define
far.
slavery.
You know those cuffs that came down from the eyes? That's attached to people.
Manacles.
Define people.
What do you mean, you people? He says,
Something smarter than a dog? I don't know.
I think you give
There you
people
go. You
credit.
can't even define it yourself.
Anything
Partying-
smarter than Muros.
Partying well into the evening with a town that
point.
burnt. Partying well into the evening with a town that acts like they have nothing to lose because they just literally lost everything is a unique experience, gentlemen. I'll give you that. But eventually, sleep deprivation overcomes us all, and Muros, the carnival ride, has to shut down. People need to sleep, and there is obviously town rebuilding to be done the next day. But a nice reprieve, because it's not just like, oh no, the house burnt, we ran. It was like, we are forced into a life of slavery. Think about that while you're sitting in a cage and watching your town burn. Like, that's just a horror. So, yeah, little party, a little pissing in the wind, goes a long way. But eventually, we get our rest. And eventually, we awake. And yes, it gives me great delight to discuss 10th level without Doug here. No reason. So, how about starting with Muros? Let's call up your character.
Tell us all your secrets.
No, go fuck your hot. That was a new talent I picked. You like it?
That was the new talent you picked. Vicious mockery. Did you just multi-class into bard?
Not yet.
It's coming. He's working into it. When he masters it, then he gets the level of bard, right? He's just trying some insults right now, but eventually when he masters it, you'll know.
Let's feel my way into the class first.
Okay, so 10th level, I'm assuming it's not a dedication level. You just get level of monk.
Free archetype too. Yep.
It is a dedication level.
Yep.
Okay.
Every
Okay.
even.
So let's start with the monk stuff. Let's start with the core.
E-strike. Hiya!
East strike.
E.
Do a
V,
con-
E. Yeah, pretty much. Hadouken!
Oh, key isn't key I.
Key.
I thought-
K-I.
Sorry, I thought you're like E-strike, like I punched the internet. Ha! Like email. Ha! Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, aggressive sending of emails, posting. Yeah.
Ha!
No, the social media BS here. No, this is just key strike. Actually, it's a level 1 monk feat.
Which you waited till now?
Well, here's the fun part. It gives me another focus point, which allows me to actually wild shape twice a day now.
Excuse me while I hold up that piece of paper that I once drew that has a neutral happy face on it. Like, what
That's right. Your pause was enough for me to read into that one there. You're like, you can do what now? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Not to mention, if I don't feel like doing that, I can actually use Key Strike, which is a really cool feat by itself. I can spend a focus point. I gain the Key Strike True Spell, which, let me read her out here. You can use your key to turn. You can use it into magical attacks. You make an unarmed strike for your blows. Doesn't change. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. You gain a +1 on your attack rolls, and the strike deals an additional 2d6 extra damage on your hits. The damage can be any type of the value you choose. You can be force, lawful, negative, or positive. But yeah, it's a focus spell, so that has given me another focus point. And my wild shape is based off my focus spells. So now, as opposed to having 1, I have 2.
Okay. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to put a brand new fist in your inventory, and we'll call it Key Strike.
Yep.
And then you can have separate math,
Yeah, it's kind of an extra 2d6 if I choose to use it for damage.
Yeah.
So
we can
that's how I was
mod
planning.
that.
We can mod everything, brother.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah. So for my free archetype, what I chose was Advanced Wilding, and I chose 1,000 Faces.
Yeah.
Yep. 1,000 Faces. So your form is as mutable as weather, changing it to meet your whim. You add the forms list a humanoid form to your wild shape list. So now I add humanoids to the things that I can turn into.
Oh, does this mean it's time for your great return?
If I choose to.
How long can you stay in any wild shape form?
If it's at my maximum size, it's like 10 minutes roughly. If I
So medium?
reduce, if medium is like an hour plus.
Okay, so you get an hour of Muros a day. If you want to burn one of your two wild shapes.
2 hours.
Okay. But like I
Per
say, it's
wild
like
shape.
you said, you're kind of burning your chance to be another big creature, so
Or I could be a giant fire giant or a storm giant or...
no, I'm just saying, like we were talking about, like, oh, it's easy, he'll just wild shape into Muros and he's back, but not really. You're kind of stuck as the gnome, and if you really wanted to be Muros, so like for drinking or darts or something.
Gnome. Listen to you here talking there, Mr. Big Pants.
Well, if you were born and raised, I'm sorry.
I'm still a dwarf.
If you chose to identify as a gnome, yeah, I could support your argument, but this was forced on you.
I am a
You didn't
gnome
ask
who
to be
identifies as a
reincarnated.
dwarf.
Your friends decided to reincarnate.
I
you. You
decided
died,
I
you didn't ask
wasn't done with life yet, was what the problem was.
That's true. I'll give you that. Sorry, one second though. Getting back to the Key Strike, as far as damage.
Yeah, 2
Right.
6, it scales, so you make a macro, we'll have to change it.
Oh, okay. But you get your D6 for your fist, or is your fist a D8 right now? What's your like regular hoof?
That's depending on what I'm hoofing at the time.
Like just you, just
I think it's
gnome
a
you. and you
D8. I
punch.
have combat actions. Yeah, 2d8.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then there's an additional 2d6 because
What? Key strike.
the key. Okay, and that damage is separate.
Yes.
Like you can say it's lawful, it's this or it's that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Yes.
How many people do you know they can turn into whatever species or creature they feel like at the time?
Any impersonator?
Oh yeah, that's a the hijinks will ensue.
Okay, now
There's going to be more than one Albrecht at a time.
Could you be? Yeah, I was gonna say, can you be
Yep.
your like? Can you pick? Can you mimic? So I guess what I'm saying is like, can you doppelganger this?
Yep.
Can you look at someone and be them, or can you just like, here is my
Yes.
human form and it's the same guy, like a kitsune?
Yes, deception roll is required.
Okay,
You have to
because
make
this
a
is
deception.
so the 1,000 faces just means you could look at anybody and try to be like them.
Yes, you can try, but to actually
well,
mimic somebody with accuracy requires the deception roll.
Okay, but is that the same as just like Al trying to dress up as you? I made myself a dwarf, and with the same penalties of a deception roll as Al trying to dress up as you, the dwarf, as opposed to himself? Or are you saying that the magic will give you the red beard?
There's literature built into the actual 1,000 faces feat that says the deception roll is required.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll look over that in depth and go case by case, but it seems pretty but cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. What else you got?
So then after that, I got a skill feat, which is called Morphic Manipulations. Prereqs must be a matter in the nature skill check, which I are. It's pretty neat. You've attuned your natural aura to the plant life, coaxing it to grow faster than normal. You sit for 10 minutes with a small, natural, non-creature plant, such as a lone flower, a small bush, or a potted succulent. And while you bring your aura in tune through meditation, you coax the plant to advance one stage in its life cycle, from a seed to a sprout to a plant to a flower, from a flower to fruit. If the plant doesn't have the proper nutrients, if you're sprouting the seed without soil or water, for example, the plant will withers within 5 minutes after you complete the activities. Performing an activity more than once per day renders you fatigued and unable to use morphic manipulation until a full night's rest.
See, all I can see is flashback to where you guys have the still with Rourke and your certain cousin to be like, cousin, make my mushrooms grow. Get on the chop. I can't do Arnie.
Can you talk to them? They're not growing. They don't like it.
Get on the chopper. Make my mushrooms grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And your hit points go up to like max?
Yes.
Up to what?
158.
58? You mean 138?
158.
Okay. I must be
158.
looking at the wrong sheet. There's 3 Miroses here. Which one is you?
The one that has Ryan's at the end of it.
Okay. I see 168.
Yeah. I'll only correct that.
And your new saving throws?
We are looking at 18, 19, 16. Fort Reflex Will.
Okay. Your AC takes a bit of a boost?
I'm at 30 now. 20 should be 27.
Hey man, if if Fantasy Ground's giving you 30, maybe that'll help. The whole problem of you rolling from 2 to 4 all the time. I don't know. I'm just saying. I want to take it.
I mean 30. 30. Sorry, what am I talking about?
Might I suggest that you clean up a character sheet and delete, the other one, so it's not so much confusion of who you are. The many faces of Miros.
Isn't that just life?
So a couple of new feats, both druidic and monk. Anything else exciting and new to report?
Yeah, no. Life is awesome. Gnomes rule. Elves drool.
Okay. Getting back to Al and the many spells.
Yep. I only really got one spell. Well, no, actually, that's a lie. I did get many spells. But that's because of the feats and stuff.
Okay.
It was a good level.
Now you've taken a feat now where you can actually, like a wizard, pick up someone's spell book and learn them, not just learn them innately through.
Yeah, and I can copy scrolls into it. And I can add to my repertoire.
Yeah.
It doesn't really give me more spells I can cast per day unless I start crafting magical scrolls.
Well, we talked about a spell list and the new ta-da right during the cold open. What about your hit points, your saves, your durability?
Standard jump up on the HPs. So I'm up to 90 now. Yay! I think that I feel a little.
Do you remember what the
closer.
last mode was?
I think it was at 84 last level.
Okay.
I think 82 maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I think 84. I don't think I gained too many hit points per level as a sorcerer.
Okay. And your saves?
Anywho, so yeah, and then AC, saves went up, I think, by 1, from what I can tell. But this was an attribute level, so that may have affected things too as to what I put stuff into.
Oh, hold the phone. This is a level where somebody increased their strength. Muros.
Yes, sir.
Muros, did you change one of your attributes? Is there more Muros to love? Did it prompt you to change your strength or dex or con?
Yeah. Strength, con, wisdom, dexterity. So 18 strength, 18 con, 18 wisdom, 16 dexterity.
Oh, we might debate the 18 wisdom, but okay, good for you. Potential. Muros.
There's wise, and then there's smart. Don't conflict.
I kind of think that if Muros ever completely sobered, he would go all Yoda and be hovering around and all at peace and glowing and stuff and bring world.
Who's to say Muros isn't at peace now?
Well, it's one way, the 100 cups of coffee, right? This new plane of. Okay, fair enough. From Futurama, where you're drinking the cups of coffee.
I know the episode.
He reaches 100, and then time stops, and he just
blows
Out
the
of
fire.
curiosity, if you increase your intelligence, do you get another train skill?
Yes.
A lot of that stuff is retroactive. Yes, as far as I know, there should be
6. That means I get to pick a skill too.
Well, let's talk about what attributes that you buffed.
I buffed. So my intelligence got a buff. My con got a buff. My charisma got a partial buff, and my wisdom got a buff.
Okay.
So
now your wisdom will affect your will save.
Yep. So will went up, and my fortitude went up.
Did you buff your con? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 1 to con.
Okay.
And
chip it away.
Yep. And so I got a partial one. So for charisma. So on my next attribute upgrade, I will go up to +5 charisma. So I'll be even sexier.
The ye old 20 charisma.
Yes, sir. That's a hot dwarf.
Even the dastardly, horrible, evil-looking villain. I mean, have you guys seen the Lord of the Rings TV show?
No.
And the guy that lead New York, dude's got tons of charisma, and he's ugly as hell. He looks burnt to hell. It's personal magnetism.
Yes.
It's presence. It's not just, I think I'm sexy. So.
I think I'm sexy.
So skill feats and a brand new one you have to choose. What else you got?
I took impeccable crafting as my skill feat, which is more of a downtime thing, but it makes all of my successes critical successes.
Okay.
So it makes my crafting amazing. Basically, I'm just following the crafting tree. That's what I've been doing with my skill feats. I haven't actually done much of it, but at some point in time, I'm going to take a vacation and make some shit. And it'll be world changing. My booze is going to be so good. So good. All right. So that was my skill feat. My sorcerer feat, I took greater bloodline.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir. So now, I can pop out some dragon's wings and fly with a focus point.
Was it silver or white? Because you're gone ice. What dragon?
That all changed. So, where is it? There it is. I'm an arcane exemplar.
Go on.
Because there's no. It all changed with the orc thing.
Oh, the revised they don't go in chromatic and metallic colors. They have like
Yes.
Cloud Dragon and Happy Buffy
So-
Dragon and
I took Draconic Arcane Exemplar Bloodline, so
Okay.
it gives me some.
that's pretty cool because like
emphasis.
if you think about it, if you took White Dragon and in the old game they're inherently evil, they would it's like playing a tiefling. Oh, you're tainted, right? You play a Silver Dragon, they expect you to be all paladin like, you're like, no. You know, so here's the
That
first
D&D
time
business out of your head there, bro.
No, what I'm
This is
saying is I'm
Pathfinder.
actually, for once, I'm seeing the advantage of them changing all the terms, though initially it's kind of a pain in the ass. I could see that because it makes it a little bit more utilitarian and generic, and you're your own dragon as opposed to like following into a stereotype, right?
I am my own dragon. I don't identify.
That's exactly. The shape-shifting guy is
Listen,
Right up there with you.
I've been through a bunch.
okay. So anyway, greater bloodline benefits.
Well, because I have 2 bloodlines now, it gives me more focus spells. The angelic one is not that awesome unless we fight a lot of unholy stuff. So for my angelic bloodline, I obtained the focus spell Celestial Brand.
Okay.
A blazing symbol appears on the target, causing it to face divine justice. You and your allies receive a +1 status bonus to your attack rolls and skill checks against it. Anytime a holy creature damages it, the holy creature deals an additional 1d4 spirit damage. The target is then temporarily immune for 1 minute. So yeah, it's good for 1 round. It's like a debuff-ish kind of thing, and it only works on unholy creatures.
We can neither confirm nor deny any unholy creatures
Yeah.
in the upcoming
So
campaign.
it's
but we'll
situational.
see.
The other one is Greater Dragon's Wings.
Right now, you're not popping up mini wings just for show. You can
No, it's a
actually-
focus spell. So I cast the spell and the wings show
Okay.
up.
And what? They protect
Leathery
you,
wings
you
sprout from your
slash with
back,
them?
giving you a fly speed of 60 feet or your speed, whichever is faster. If you're still flying when the spell duration would end, you float to the ground with the effects of gentle landing. And because it's
okay.
greater, it is a 10-minute duration.
Definitely need to watch Netflix Castlevania Nocturne because there is a female character that has the proverbial leathery wings out her back, and the flying scenes when she flies, it's very cool. The way they do flight combat, and you know what I mean. So as a players, I'd like you to watch this series because we are getting more and more into aerial combat. You guys keep casting flying a bunch of people and just sort of, having shows like that where they just jump and hover,
The
to actually
launch off
see
of the original anime,
what? Yeah.
Castlevania.
Yeah. Castlevania, like the Netflix series, right?
Yeah.
So they go from medieval times, Alucard's still around, and now it's like the French Revolution, like colonial times.
Oh, sweet.
He doesn't show up until like part 2, but it's
Yeah.
like so many Belmonts later, generations of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
I
good.
I still laugh at the horse that stole the show, and was it season 2? And that's enough shit from you.
That's funny. So, oh no, I'm not talking about Vampire Hunter D. I'm talking about Castlevania.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, Al. So,
Yes.
major buff upgrades, this, that, and the other couple
Yep.
feats, and you'll let us know about the other feats. Any minor feats or anything that came along? And let's talk about dedicated alchemy because you are an alchemist, are you not? Or was that your crafting?
I am an alchemist, yes. They did add it. I have it now. So for my alchemy, I chose the feat Expert Alchemy, which gives me a buff on my potions. So they go up to the next tier.
So, as in, like, you churn out a 3d6 heal instead of a 2d6 healing potion or something?
Yeah, I have to look up what the difference is and change my notes.
But more bang for your buck when you drink a potion, Al Stonechucker. So that's cool.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah,
when
like
you
they,
guys were
they might
low
actually
level,
be.
Yeah, we
They might
call
actually
them
be
potions.
One
but-
thing though that did change is they changed the number of the instant potions. So they did rework Alchemist a bit.
Okay, so let's hear about that.
So I don't have as many instant potions. So instead of having 9, I have 6, I think now, including the one that my familiar grants.
It's almost like those same people that went, GGM, all online about free dedication. Like just getting the GM going, but you're a walking vending machine of potion. Oh no, that doesn't help at all. That doesn't. Obviously, it does. Someone crunched some math.
Yeah.
Thank you, whoever that was.
It's a strong archetype, especially for a back line.
That joke aside, would you at 10th level stop to drink a 1d6 or 1d8 potion when the damage coming into you is like 2d20? Like, no, you wouldn't, right? So it would be the battle's over. I chug 6, and then you get some help, and you've burned through all your.
But it's I think it's a pretty big increase because it's a tier up.
Okay.
And the way items work in this, which is nice.
Any other major changes in system or character?
Anything.
And what about you, Ryan? Have you noticed as you've been leveling with the new core revised rules, is there anything they change? Like, did they change how you wild shape? Maybe it's fewer or more actions around or anything. Have you noticed any big?
No, they haven't.
Not really?
It's rewording has happened, but nothing mechanically has happened behind the scenes.
Okay.
If you look at the gears and the nuts and the bolts, no.
Okay. Well, I think we will hear from Doug Baldwin about his champion, Andrew MalBurg, about his secret character class next time.